Good afternoon, everybody. This is Anthony DeRosa with Platinum DB Consulting. I'm actually a SAP PPM solution architect. I've been working in the SAP space for approximately 20 years. Former SAP Platinum consultant, specializing in project systems, plant maintenance, asset management, and really more of an integrated perspective on customer deployments. But I'm happy to be here at Platinum DB, kind of taking SAP solutions to the next level. With that spirit in mind, I introduced Desktop Analyzer for PPM 6.0, supported for the HANA platform, S4 HANA platform, and you'll see some testimonial on this later on. This is session 1 of 4, meant to be a 10-minute session, really just an intro, and then we'll get into some other sessions where we go into deep dives. So really the idea here is to really get you into kind of understanding the overview of what is Desktop Analyzer, kind of look at some of the different industries we've addressed, and kind of get you warm and comfortable with what it is and what it isn't, and do some demos for you. And then hopefully, if you like what you see, you'll join us in our next session. And where we get into a deeper dive. So the Desktop Analyzer Suite is a suite of tools that provides an Excel front end to SAP's PPM tool. It allows users to update, analyze large quantities of data. That means you don't have to work on one project at a time. You can do these, on a single. You can perform your updates on a single project, multiple projects. But what it brings the combined. It brings usability, power, and that familiarity of Excel with the enterprise integrity and scope of SAP PPM. So you don't lose anything. It's all about gaining. Okay. So with that, this is really the 4 main components of the tool set. There's an item master data version for updating master data for one or more projects, item planning for doing portfolio level planning, budgeting, and the same thing for doing for establishing high-level rough cut capacity planning, and then taking a deeper dive into resource planning, which means at the project level, right, in the C project layer, and doing role planning. So being able to do that in a nice, easy-to-use Excel format, as well as all of this providing Excel-like reporting, and then lastly, being able to do staffing. So that means down into the business partner, which means an employee or a contractor. So you look at the industries we've worked in. We've worked in oil and gas, medical device companies. You've got other companies like consumer product companies. So you've got really a mix and match of customers here. One of our first customers and still one of our best customers is Pacific Gas Electric, where we've done lots of great presentations on all types of PPM subjects. We recently did one with Fujitsu, as a matter of fact, on integrating project and portfolio management with MII, some of that really advanced manufacturing intelligence and integration layer. So without further ado, I'm actually going to go out and show you the tool. So I'm going to go out here and and as I indicated earlier, we did a study here and a case study in 2014 where we actually were awarded a nice case study with Varian Medical. And this is available upon request. So this is where we were, basically the focus was on delivering innovative solutions to accelerate time to value, and with a focus on the desktop analyzer. Okay. So if you look at the tool set, let's take a look. Go to Excel, and what you're going to find is that using the Excel tool set, this is a very, very easy tool to use, which means all you've got to do is open up Excel. And we're showing you our item planning tool. You can select one or more projects. I'm going to look at my K projects, for example, here, and show you how easy it is to bring up one or more projects. You can select all projects, deselect. In this case, I've already got 3. You can select a period of time, as I indicated, for financial and capacity planning. And again, this is just a real quick overview, so I'm not going to take a lot of your time today. All right, but just to kind of get the sense of, you can see my projects coming down. I got 3 projects zipping down. And I'm able to, easily do changes here. So you can see here, I've got, I can load data, I can upload data, I can work offline, bring it back online. All the security checks are intact. I can filter on whether I want to see the approved budget view for capital expense, actuals. What do I want to see? But you know, the nice thing about it is the usability. If you look at this, if I wanted to just take one of these columns here and paste it across, easy paste, right? These are the type of things that if I showed you the native UI here, you can't really do that. You can't grab a column here, for example, and do a paste. Tab it across. I can't do that. I've got to tab and paste one by one. So these are the kind of things that you really can't do in the native screen. All right, so but the nice thing is that you're able to do things also like forecasting. You can go out here and decide, what is your baseline view? Where is your forecast being stored? Where are your actuals? You can map this, and then you can do things like forecasting, which means you can compare your actuals to your budget. If your actuals exceed your budget, you can use the difference to adjust your forecast going forward, and we'll auto spread that for you, or we can have a user-defined formula. The other thing we can do is, look, if you look at this, I've got a column out here that I'm focusing on here. You can also do calculations. You can come in here and say equals sum, and you can drag and drop all your columns you want to sum up in there and build formulas. So these are the kind of things that you can do that make life really easy for the user. Okay, so this is just a quick one on how you can use it for this particular need. And you can see here that if you go to reporting, you got some slick reports. You can include more data, exclude more data. You can decide what views you want to focus on. You only want to focus on actuals. Integrate that with project systems, for example. You can bring in actuals. You want to see your actuals versus your approved budget. Easily make these changes. Okay, so that's kind of the idea, is bring the power and the user friendliness to the user. So I'm going to go back here now, and I'm going to actually open up a new worksheet. So I've got one up here. I'm going to open up a new worksheet or a new workbook, and I'm going to show you how some of the resource planning works. So I'm going to take it down a level. You'll see here it prompts me to log in, provided a password. And you'll see here I've got an IT pool of resources. So as opposed to selecting individual resources, which I could, I've got an IT pool of resources, and I'm going to decide whether I want to plan in hours or FTEs. It's a great tool for FTE planning, especially if you're in a multi-country project mode. This will help you address your FTE planning. And you'll see here that different calendars with from different countries or different plants or locations, we handle that easy. You see here that we're able to easily bring down all the projects for the different resources here. So we got Mikkel Alterman as a resource, for example. We've got, you see how many projects here I've been assigned to Mikkel. Go down to Anthony DeRosa, etc. So you can see all the different resources. You're able to see the roles. You're also able to hard book or soft book without necessarily having to jump into every single project. Each one of these lines here that I'm highlighting here represents a project. Okay, so it's very, very easy to do distributions, and as you enter data, you'll see changes to your data depending on the scenario you're planning here. So that means you'll see the impact of that on your in your color coding. So red, yellow, green, we use red, yellow, blue here in this scenario to show over allocated, under allocated, etc. Okay, and then last but not least, I'll fire up one more session to show you one of our other staffing additions down at the person level. So I'll go here and I'll load again the data from a project level, but down at a resource level. Okay, I got two projects here, K1 and K11, that I've pre-selected. I can select projects based on project ID, role function, role staffing, role type. Okay, and it'll pick up all the data across multiple years if that's the case, if you don't specify otherwise. And I'll bring that down. So I'm going to bring down those projects, and I'll give you an example here of how easy it is to identify whether someone is available and how easy it is to staff one of these roles. So I've got a project manager role down here that I've highlighted. I click on add staffing. I'm going to find myself or one of my friends, one of my colleagues, Mikkel, A-L-T, Alterman is his last name. And I find Mikkel, I highlight, and it shows me that this is his availability going forward for July through the period of time that I'm looking for here. And so I feel comfortable that I'm not going to have any issues, right, with Mikkel. So I'm going to click on staff, and I've easily staffed Mikkel to my project down here. Now, if I want to delete the staffing, all I got to do is highlight that row and delete staffing. Okay, so you're probably asking yourself, well, can you delete anything? Well, not really. If I click on delete, it's going to give me a message saying, nope, you can't delete that. You can't delete that row. That's because it's a row that has master data in it that's been protected. So you're not able to change that type of data. So all that data integrity is there. So this is really a robust suite of tools that provides you with a nice foundational layer for performing all kinds of updating. Again, this is our traditional look and feel. As you can see here, for scrolling around and changing date profiles, this is how you'll do it in native, as opposed to really going back to Excel here and running it through Excel. I'm going to show one last feature of the tool, and that's the master data. So if I go here, I've got master data planning, and I can download master data. So you'll see here, I can download one or more projects. Okay, sometimes I might get a message if I'm not able to connect successfully here, right? And the reason is because I didn't tell it anything about what I wanted to download. So I got a message like that, but that's usually a unusual thing. So all I'm going to do is just tell it, whether I'm pulling down, whether I'm going to be pulling down project data, portfolio data. So I'm going to go out here and update the field list. And that was actually one of the problems, is I did not successfully log on to the tool with the wrong password. So, right? So it wasn't happy with me. There you go. So now I'm connected. That explains the message, right? So it is a demo after all. So I'm going to click on save. I'm going to save my options here, which means I'm going to save what option? I'm going to select all the fields that I wanted to pull in. In this case, I selected them all. And you can see here, I can use this for PPM data, for project data. There's different tables. They can even be custom tables if you map a custom table here. I'm going to save my settings. And now I can successfully download my data. You'll see that it's all the data is being pulled down that I mapped. And now you can see I can hide this or close that view, and you can see that this is all the data that I can update. I've got the external ID, I got the item name, item type, status. So you could see the drop downs that you can easily maintain. Right? You can maintain drop downs, and you can see the other columns. For example, importance is in a color coded. So if I go to one of these where it's not updated, I can make one of these yellow, one of these green. So it's easy to update dates, statuses, etc. Really, really slick tool for doing things like mass loading of data or cleaning up of data during your initial conversions. Okay, so that's kind of an overview that I wanted to provide you with today. Again, the tool is very, very powerful. It's got lots of slick features, got a lot of good case studies on this, and again, it's easy to use and it's easy to install, and it takes relatively a couple days to get set up in your environment. So if you're interested in something that is easy to use, low cost, low implementation costs, and low maintenance costs, this is probably the tool for you, and this is probably the place you want to come when you're looking for something to take your project and portfolio management solution to the next level. With that, I want to thank you all for joining us. As I said, this will be one of 4 sessions that we'll be providing, and I look forward to having you join our next session where we'll talk about some of the deep dive capabilities of each of these tools. Thank you.